No, that's sugar. Slugs love sugar.
Oh, hey. I didn't see you there. Hey, I just want to tell you, now that you're here, this episode is sponsored by Audible, the thing that puts books in your ear holes. And they got a lot of great stuff of all stars and stripes, such as books and comedy and Fresh Air with Terry Gross. They've got one episode in particular aired in 2004 with Simon Cowell and also Tammy Faye Mesner. So, check it out. Normally on Audible, this would cost you $2.95. But you can get a free 30-day trial by going to audibletrial.com/AGT. That's audibletrial.com/AGT. All right. See ya. Bye.
Turn it up, turn it down, turn it off, shut the door, shut the fridge, shut your face, ask your mom, go to bed, go to sleep, clean your plate, have a bath, pick it up, put it down. Don't touch that. I said no. No, what did I say?
Welcome
say that
to
again.
our
I
ninth
dare you.
episode of our
you.
Season 8 rewatch of America's Got Talent. I'm Cody Patterson. Along with me is the guy whose favorite category is comedy. Here's Cody Mims.
Hello. That one is actually true.
Yeah, we had some good comedy this evening.
Yeah.
And we found out a little secret about one of our judges.
Ooh la la.
You ready to get into tonight's episode?
Yeah.
Well, we start off with the Virginia State University Gospel Chorale. And we did not see them in Vegas. They were pushed straight through from Vegas to the quarterfinals. And we see them touring around on a New York City tour bus. We talked to the guy that sang the solo, and he got a little sister to sing along with. How'd you like their intro?
It was weird how they sang their name.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. Some acts kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a little...
Other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of cliche them riding around on a tour bus. I think every intro we've kind of seen the performers doing something around New York City.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Got to showcase Times Square a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, in their performance, they sang Like a Prayer by Madonna. What'd you think of this?
It seems really lame. I wouldn't vote for them, honestly. What did you think? Am I being too harsh?
That's fine. I really liked it. That song's one of my favorite Madonna songs. And I really enjoyed it. And them being a gospel chorale, I could understand why they sang that. It's got a little bit of a religious undertone. The music video for that particular song's a little on the creepy side, but the song itself is, it's a very popular Madonna song.
Okay, cool. I'd never heard it before. Maybe I have. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not too familiar with it.
It would definitely be on her all-time greatest hits album.
Okay.
I didn't think the first soloist I didn't think was that good. It sounded like she was a little nervous at first, but when the guy that we saw in auditions, when he came in and sang, I thought he was much, much better and a little added a little more power to it.
Yeah, I agree. He's the nitrous.
He's the nitrous of the group.
Yeah.
It bothered me a little bit when Heidi said that she didn't like that pick for them, the songs they picked.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, she thought they should pick like a Robin Thicke song, something more current.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but being a gospel chorale, I don't know if they would. I don't think they could get away with singing a Robin Thicke song.
Yeah.
I think
for sure.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the right choice in song.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, there's already Threepenny doing the the modern songs thing. So I'm not sure that's who they want to compete with.
No, I think they want to do something different. I don't think they want to do what the other choirs are doing.
Yeah.
All the other judges seemed to really enjoy it, though. Heidi seemed to be the only one that was kind of down on it.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I really liked it. I would have given them probably a couple of votes if I had voted for them. Starting off the show as strong as we did, I didn't expect the whole show to kind of be as strong as it was.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But we'll get into each one of those. Being the first group, I wasn't for sure how the rest of the night would go, so I wasn't for sure if they would get through. After watching the rest of the acts, they were probably kind of on the bubble for me of going through.
That's interesting. I don't know that the judges would agree with you. It seemed like there were a lot they weren't too hot on.
That they were not too hot on it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that's just how I remember it. I don't know.
No, I think, to me, it sounded like they were all really hot on it, except for Heidi.
No. I mean, there's a lot of acts that.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I think Howard even mentioned throughout the night that it was, kind of a big night.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have anything else for the Virginia State University Gospel Chorale?
Nope.
They also need to kind of shorten their name. That's a real mouthful.
Yeah, but then they can sing it like it's a really long doorbell or something.
Well, we find out that Red Panda was supposed to be here tonight, but she wasn't able to show because of some personal conflicts. So she was replaced by Melody Caballero, a contortionist.
Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, not to be too hard on Melody, but I do miss Red Panda.
I kind of miss Red Panda too, and I was really hard on her in Vegas because she made mistakes. She's kind of done the same act several times, so I wasn't big on her going through to Vegas, through to the semifinals anyway. But I'm not sure.
That's a good point. I mean, I think it could be argued that Melody deserves it more.
Probably. She did kind of do some different stuff in Vegas compared to what Red Panda did. It may not have been as exciting, but she didn't have the problems that Red Panda did. Yeah.
I mean, she's pretty talented, especially for her age.
Yeah, for 11, yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah. This performance, I thought it was decent. It didn't really get me too excited. I mean, I think Sophie Dossie's probably a little bit better than this.
Right, I have that as well. The performance itself didn't do a lot for me either. It didn't seem refined. Now, Howie mentioned that she's only had about a week to get something ready, but I would think someone with her skills kind of already has a routine kind of in the can that she can just pull out and do.
Right.
But she reminded me of, Sophie Dossie as well. And I think her and Sophie chronologically are about the same age. So today, in 2017, Melody is probably the same age as Sophie.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about that.
So I would be curious to see how refined her show is now compared to Sophie's.
Yeah, absolutely.
She also reminded me of Lindsay Norton from season 7, who's a little bit older. Lindsay was 16 at the time she performed in season 7.
Okay, I don't remember her.
Okay. I followed her on Twitter for a while, and then she kind of I think she went off to college and dropped off the radar. But I think as far as the three of them, I would put, Lindsay, Sophie, and then Melody, but we don't know what Melody is like today.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Oh, Howie said that he'd never seen anything done like this before. He didn't remember Lindsay from the year before, so I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But they were all kind of meh on her performance. They didn't think it was, Heidi thought it was incredible, but they all just kind of were very vague and not overly excited for her performance.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, I guess. I'm glad she got to go on that stage, though.
I'm glad she got a second chance as well. Yeah. You have anything else for Melody?
Nope.
Okay. We then find out that Train and Tom Cotter are going to be on the Results show.
Wow.
Tom Cotter, the runner-up from season 7, who lost to a group of dogs.
Yeah.
So I couldn't wait to see his performance during the Results show. We also found out that next week in the semifinals, we're going to get One Direction.
Yeah. So there were some YouTube comments about that, I think.
You went through the YouTube comments?
Yeah, for that one.
Okay, I have to check that out. Haven't had a chance to go. I didn't think to go through the YouTube comments. That's pretty funny.
Someone said that they skipped that part, which I don't know what they were talking about. I'm not sure what they skipped.
Yeah. Did they just take their mouse and just go 5 minutes into the future on the video?
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, then we get Dave Finley, singer and guitar player, and we find out in his intro that he started singing as a little kid. He always knew that's what he wanted to do. But his parents wanted him to go into sales, wanted him to get a real job. But now it's been 10 years since he quit his desk job. That's pretty much all he does now. Sing, play in bars. And then he came and tried out for AGT.
Yeah.
He sang Trouble by Ray LaMontagne. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce that. Were you familiar with this song at all?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure who it was by or anything, but I think I was familiar enough with it to know that I don't like this rendition.
Oh, okay.
I think there was too much guitar strumming. I'm not really sure. It sounded wrong to me.
We are on opposite sides of things tonight. I really liked this. I thought it fit his personality and his style of singing. Now, I'm not familiar with the original song at all, so I don't have anything to compare, but I like his strumming and kind of his bluesy, soul, raspy singing voice. That really hit me. I liked it.
Yeah. I think this song, for me, kind of relies on the minimalism and the long notes, maybe. Sort of a specific thing with his long notes. He made them discrete, and I wish that they were continuous pitch bends, like he would just go from one pitch to the next. And I feel like he could have maybe, I don't know, milked it a little bit harder. Maybe that's a weird thing to explain, but that was just a little thing that bothered me with it. I don't know. It just didn't really work for me.
Okay. I think that's fair. Did you remember Michael Grimm at all?
Yeah.
Do you think that he kind of is like Michael Grimm?
Yeah, he does. I think somebody said he sounds like no one else or something, but yeah.
Yeah, Howie compared him to Michael Grimm, so that's...
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone seemed to kind of like it throughout the night. This is where Howard says that we've got a very interesting night so far, just 3 performers in. He called it a competitive night, even though we're only 3 performers in. I think at this point we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, well, I'm glad.
Do you have anything else for Dave Finley?
I don't think so.
Well, then we get into Too Unique, a rapper and DJ. They said they've been together a little over 5 months. One is 11 and one is 10, and they still don't look like they're the same age.
Yeah.
They have the one that looks much, much older. They said they're now part of the AGT family, and they want to continue to be part of the AGT family.
That's sweet.
Yeah. They did a medley of Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight and MC Hammer's Can't Touch This.
Yeah, this was like a nightclub in San Junipero, I think. It was
I don't know where that is.
it's a fictional place from Black Mirror. It's kind of
Ah, okay, okay.
it kind of exists for the purpose of nostalgia. So yeah, this seemed to channel some previous decades for me. So I think Mel was it who called it cheesy? I think I kind of agree with that.
It did seem a little cheesy. At the beginning, I liked that they had all the dancers on the stage. You know, it really helped fill the stage. But after I kind of watched it a couple of times, after going back and rewatch it, it did seem like they got lost up there amongst all the dancers.
Yeah, yeah, I do agree. I mean, it would have been nice to see more of them, I think, especially the DJ.
Yeah, it was great that they brought the DJ forward, and I think all the judges mentioned that she was brought forward on the stage so we could see her better. But she was still surrounded by all those dancers.
Yeah.
Did you like the rapper's point that even though she made a mistake, she continued on, and that's all that matters?
um, I don't know. It's kind of a deflection. Yeah.
Heidi mentioned, "Is this a Vegas act?"
Yeah. I don't think it is. I mean, I think it really is like a nightclub. Like they would be well suited for that, but I don't know about Vegas.
Okay. I actually did a little research on Too Unique, and we'll talk about them where they are now when we get to our results.
Okay.
Um, on the Vegas act thing, I kind of waver back and forth on this at times because how do they allow an act to get this far if they don't consider it a Vegas act?
Yeah.
Why do they all of a sudden decide now that it's not a Vegas act?
Yeah. 5 quarterfinal rounds is a lot, and I guess they cut back on that in the future. But it's they put them pretty far. They like him, I guess. They like the act. I think even Howie said at one point, like it doesn't matter. It just matters if they're talented. So I think it does matter.
You think the talent matters, or whether it's a Vegas act matters?
I think whether it's a Vegas act matters, and they even like Howie will even say that sometimes too. I think he's kind of picking and choosing here, but yeah, all the judges like these kids, but I think it's not a Vegas act.
I agree that it's not a Vegas act, and I don't think I've been high on them the entire time. They were fun during auditions, but I don't think I put them in my list to move on past Vegas. I know they have to move so many through, but as far as all the acts that have moved on, this one I had very low expectations for.
Yeah, I agree.
Howie said it felt Disney-like.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Okay. But they also, yeah, you're right. They all seem to like them. They just didn't feel they're there yet. Kind of, their act's not up to par yet.
Yeah. Well, I am interested to know where they are now.
Well, I've got all that. So, well, it's kind of a teaser. We'll talk about it in the results.
Yeah.
Are we finished with Too Unique? You got anything else for them?
I think we're done.
Okay. We then get Sam Johnson, and we had to go outside for his act.
Yeah.
This
was pre-taped. I think later they showed Sprice. I think that one was actually live. I'm not really sure. Do you know?
I'm not sure about Sprice. They did mention that this one was pre-taped. It seemed like when they first went outside that they weren't actually live outside, but then I think Nick mentioned later that it was pre-taped.
Yeah. Yeah. And they record these at night, so I mean that one was for sure.
Right. Well, it's nighttime on the East Coast. It's probably 5 or 6 on the West Coast. Well, I guess no. We were in New York City. You're right. So it would have been nighttime. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I forget that we are in New York, even though we've been talking about New York for a month now. In his intro, we found out that he joined the circus at 14.
Yeah, he just joined the people who wanted to ship him off, I guess.
Yep, and he now has, he's a single dad. He has a little girl. So
That's cool.
Yeah, it's real cool. But in his performance, he had his 80-foot pole that he used during auditions, and he climbed back to the top of it. Then he hung upside down. Did you expect what was going to happen next?
Not really, no. The hanging upside down part was really impressive too, though.
It was. And then after he hung upside down, then it starts swinging, and it completely swings him all the way to the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very awesome. He's a great. And I kind of get the comments that, one of the judges would want to do that or something like that. They've not put acts through for that before. So I think it's valid, but I think it's, as fun as it may look, it's still very dangerous.
Right, because he even mentioned it may not look dangerous to us, but it felt very dangerous to him.
Yeah, he was giving the judges some backlash.
He was letting them have it. Howie kept comparing it to a bungee jump.
Yeah, I guess. How attached to that pole was he when it swung around?
Well, it looked like he had a rope tied around one of his legs, and I think that was just to kind of hold him there. And then he grabbed the pole, and I think he was holding on to it because when he then swung around, he was then standing on the rungs.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because as it came around, and then the pole is kind of on the bottom. He's now upright, so he's standing on the rungs, and the swing didn't really swing all the way back up. I think it swung about halfway, but it came to a stop pretty quickly.
Okay, interesting.
So he was really only upside down for a short period, and then when it swings, he's right side up.
Yeah, okay.
If it was kind of the other way, where he was upright when it was up, and then as it swung down, then he was upside down, that might have added a little bit to it.
Yeah, that's true. That might have been better.
So did you enjoy this?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was great too. I don't know if it's something I would want to try.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Do you have anything else for Sam Johnson?
Nope.
We then get duo resonance, and it's an acrobatic duo who are, I'm not sure at this point if they're husband-wife or if they're just dating, but they're a couple.
Okay.
It's Nina and Yuri, and they first met when Yuri was touring in America, and they fell in love at first sight.
Yay.
He primarily speaks Russian, and it sounds like she does a lot of the translating for him.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, so he speaks a little bit of English, but I think she does most of the translating. But their acrobatic, their routine was very erotic, I guess would be the word. Is that what you would kind of compare it to? It's very romantic.
I don't know. That's what the judges said. I would just call it boring, honestly.
Oh, okay.
I kind of missed something here. I didn't really get it.
I think this is the one where she actually becomes the base and holds him up at times.
Yeah.
And that's a little impressive.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just holding. It felt like I think the Kristoff brothers can do a lot more.
Okay. I think it's just the comparison that typically a man is usually on the bottom on these acrobatic routines holding up a woman, and this time it's actually a woman holding up a man. So I think that's where people are kind of seeing the impressiveness on this.
Yeah. Okay.
So I kind of liked it. I mean, I didn't feel it was the best act of the night. It wasn't my most favorite. But I kind of liked it. I probably would have put it somewhere in the middle of the pack.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I would have put them through or not.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's about all I have. Yeah, Howard even mentioned the Christoph brothers as well, and said it's not as cheesy as what they do. Said it's classy.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's definitely a different version. But
Right. But do you like the entertainment and comedic value of the Christoph brothers more
yeah,
than
I think
this?
this one's not as much fun.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's fair.
What do you like better?
Um, I don't know if I like one better than the other. I think I appreciate both for what they are.
Okay.
If I had to pick between the two, I probably would pick the Christoph brothers, but it's a slight pick. I mean, it's just I would barely pick them over these two.
Okay.
Um, okay. Do you have anything else for duo resonance?
Nope.
We then get D'Angelo and Amanda, kid dancers, and they said they've been dancing for more than half their lives. And once again, we get the back and forth of how many times they've dated and broken up, and whether they're going to date anymore. Production even flat out asked them if they were going to get back together. Complete silence. So I can't believe they just continue to rehash this.
Yeah, didn't they on stage act like didn't they say they're working on it or something?
I think so. I think they even asked him again after the performance if they were going to get back together, if they're dating, and she said they're working on it. So I'm not sure what that really means.
Probably means stop asking.
That's probably it, yes. And it'd be funny if just one of them said that. Would you just leave us alone?
Yeah.
They said they danced a paso doble, which is kind of a dance from, I think it said like the 14th or 16th century, that mimics kind of a fight. And the music that they use in this, they use a lot in bullfighting, and it's a big Spanish dance that kind of mimics a battle or a fight.
Yeah. They were intense. They had some really cool moves.
They did, and the stage even looked really cool with the red lights and the bullfighting outfit that he was wearing. They've stepped it up since auditions.
Yeah, they definitely brought it.
Got a standing ovation from the judges.
Yeah, yeah.
Howie said it was intense, fierceness, perfect, precise. Heidi said it was spot on.
Uh-huh.
Even commented on her dress and wrote 10 on a card, like giving them a score.
Yeah.
They really are spot on their costuming and the stage decorations. I think that adds a lot to their performance.
Yeah, they picked a theme and they knew exactly what they were doing, and they just really pulled it off very well.
I agree. Do you think they have gotten better since auditions, or about the same, or?
I don't know. I think they're just showing us more of what they have. This is only the third time we've seen them, so yeah, it's cool. They're really coming out strong. I don't know. They could be sort of at the top of the pack.
They could be, and after seeing them, it really got me worried for Ruby and Jonas.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about Ruby Jonas here in a minute. Do you have anything else for D'Angelo and Amanda?
No.
Okay. We then get Selena McKenzie Gordon. She's a singer. She says her mom is in the military, and she joined up in the military when she was 4, and she was sent off to Iraq. She's basically been taken care of by her grandmother. She sounds like she has a really good relationship with her grandmother. Her grandmother would sing bluegrass music to her as she fell asleep. I'm not sure I've heard bluegrass used as a sleeping technique much. She's mainly sung at schools, churches, and local competitions. What'd you kind of think of her intro?
I don't know. We've never really seen her before. I kind of thought this wasn't anything special. It didn't really get my hopes up super high.
I agree. I don't feel like we have a good connection with her. I don't think we saw her in auditions. She did sing a Martina McBride song in Vegas Week, but it still didn't feel like we were connecting with her at all. This time around, she sang "What Hurts the Most" by Rascal Flatts, and I don't know. I really don't know this song at all. What did you kind of think of her performance?
Rascal Flatts. I had no idea that's who did this song.
Rascal Flatts, yes. And when she was singing it, I could kind of picture Rascal Flatts in her voice.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this was not just nothing special, but it was really bad.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, judges kind of came down on her. There was a lot of awkward speculation, as Howard called it, an inquisition.
Yeah, that was a really strong word to use. Yeah, they were really going after her because they kept asking her how she felt she did. She's like, "Oh, I thought it was fine," and they're like, "Did you not tell that you were kind of off key and off the music?" And then right at the very end, she's like, "Oh yeah, the music in my ear was off." So
yeah,
it's almost like she was trying to play it off, but not very well. And then she just at the very end was just like, I'll just say something."
It's very relatable.
So it's almost like they were trying to catch her in something, and then Howard was trying to tell Howie that he was calling her a liar.
Yeah, that was very weird.
It was one of the most awkward post-performance interviews I've seen on this show.
Yeah, we've had a couple this season.
I guess we have. That is true. It was so weird.
Yeah. Was she
but
injured?
I'm sorry?
But was she injured?
Oh, no, I don't think she was injured, no.
Okay.
She didn't break a leg, no.
Yeah.
But I don't have much from her because I just don't feel like we have much of a connection.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but that's all I have for her. Do you have anything else for Selena McKenzie Gordon?
No.
Okay. We then get into John Wing, a comedian. And he never saw anyone do comedy when he was growing up, but he eventually went to like a comedy club and really got into it. Said he's been working for 33 years as a comedian. And I think he said he's 53, so it was about 20.
Yeah.
While he was on the comedy circuit, he saw a lot of drug use and got addicted.
Yeah. I remember this guy now after hearing that. It's such an interesting story. It kind of stuck with me. He's always very open about it on the show, and it's very interesting to see. It
is, because he's kind of just talked about, he mentioned that he missed things. He missed his kids learning to walk. But going out on the circuit, and you kind of hear stuff about things like this happening. And if he's been doing it 33 years, we're talking 80s and then the early 90s when drug use was probably stronger than it is now, especially in those types of circuit where the comedy circuit and the music business and all of that. We kind of hear stories about their being rampant drug use. So it's just interesting to kind of hear him actually tell that story.
Yeah, it's very sad in a way that is not often brought up on AGT, I guess.
Right, it is one of those stories you don't really hear on here, but it is great to hear that he did get sober. It was funny that he said when he got sober, he wasn't funny anymore.
Yeah.
He did mention that he's not competing with anyone. He's just competing against himself.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see how he did later on.
Yes, we will. What'd you think of his performance? How'd you like his jokes?
He was all right. Howard said he was kind of pushing it on the edge. I don't really understand what he was talking about with that. It was, I guess, in the beginning. I don't know. It was kind of more about parenting at the end. I thought it was pretty light, pretty safe. So, it didn't wow me.
It was light, but he did tell jokes about his family, and I think you mentioned that in his intro as well, is that he does tell a lot of jokes about family. That's pretty much what he knows.
Yeah.
So the whole 3-word thing I thought was really funny. These are the kind of jokes that I really like. That when I mentioned last time about I like comedians that tell stories, these are the kind of stories that I like. It's about his life and things that he experiences, and just it felt like just little mini stories because he doesn't have much time to really tell a whole lot at this point. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool.
I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here, and I know you say you didn't like this, and there's another comedian that you're a huge fan of. How would you compare the two?
This guy is very traditional in comedy, I guess. He has a routine, and he knows it, and he does it, and he just sort of tells jokes. Taylor had a prop last time. I'll do a little bit more with that. He just kind of, I don't know, does more with the form. But if you're asking, like, which one I like better, I like Taylor quite a bit more.
I figured you'd say you like Taylor quite a bit more. I was just curious if you do appreciate him, if you like him at all, or if maybe just the whole thing just didn't do anything for you.
I do. I don't really remember his comedy very much. I mostly remember him and his story, which I do root for, but I don't think his comedy has ever done much for me. I guess we saw him in auditions, but I really can't even remember it. It just it all seems very standard, I guess. I don't know. Maybe this is more for like parents and things like that. I feel like I don't relate to it, I guess.
That's probably a good point. That's because he is 53. I don't have. Kind of get a little personal here. I don't have any kids, but I'm probably. Well, no, I'm probably about in the middle between his age and Taylor's age. I can kind of relate to both for some reason somehow. I know a lot of people that have kids. I have a lot of friends that have kids, so I can kind of see where this comedy fits in. I can at least picture it, but I also understand Taylor's comedy a little bit, especially when he brings out the props and the genius of his act, making it look like it's not that he doesn't have an act type thing. I think that's just greatness. I think both are very funny.
Yeah, Taylor's much, much sillier, so he's probably got his own sort of narrowness to him.
That's probably a good way of putting it, is that Taylor's more silly. He's more witty as well.
Yeah,
I like John Wing's jokes. I think the jokes are really good.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember if he goes on from this, so if he does, I'm looking forward to hearing more.
We'll talk about it when we get to the results. We find out that comedy is Heidi's favorite category.
Was she being sarcastic about that?
No. Well, we'll talk about it more because she mentions it again in the results show.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that this was her that comedy is her favorite category, even though she was so critical of Taylor. But she likes him. She likes John.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. I mean, she's a parent too. So.
She is a parent, and
she's the family judge.
The family judge. Her and Mel B kind of talk about going home and trying the 3-word things on the kids of yes you will, yes I will, yes we will, close that, turn it off, turn it on, turn it down, all that type stuff. They can relate to every single one of those. So
yeah.
I thought this was definitely one of the best acts of the night for me.
Okay. Well, cool.
Do you have anything else for John Wing?
No.
We then get into Sprice, and I thought this was a weird place for Sprice to be.
Yeah.
You and I kind of talked offline that we thought Sprice would be at the very beginning of the show.
Yeah. I'm not sure how this all got set up. It's a mystery.
I'm not either. Like, we come back from break, and all of a sudden, Sprice has a huge Rube Goldberg machine set up.
Yeah. They had a copy Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah, it's a duplicate Radio City Music Hall the judges just walk over to.
Yeah.
Well, we find out his name is Steve Price, which is where we get Sprice from.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, yeah. He says he's always been mechanically inclined. Said his stage presence was an issue with the judges back in auditions. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's his biggest barrier. Even the Kinetic King is more charismatic than him. I like him. I don't mind his personality.
I don't either. I think it's rather cute. He says he's been working on this machine for weeks and weeks. He's actually been going over to a warehouse, and he said he'll work on it for about 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's a Rube Goldberg machine. It's got a whole bunch of different stuff with dominoes and light bulbs and soccer balls. I think at the very end we have fireworks. What'd you think of this?
It was really impressive. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan of Rube Goldberg machines in general, so I'm I can't do them, but I'm impressed by people that can.
Yeah, just setting up dominoes is so hard.
It is. But getting them in the right order and spacing and then having them hit a fly swatter and a light bulb and all that type stuff.
Yeah.
But the judges themselves were really hard on him.
Yeah. It's just they can't get over his personality, I guess.
I guess it's that, but they also just didn't. They just don't feel that this is something for Vegas. Again, they didn't say it outright, but they kind of alluded that this is not a Vegas act.
Yeah. I mean, they have a point. It doesn't last that long. I'm not sure how you would extend this to like an hour or something, but I think it's cool. Is this the one where Howie said it's just about talent?
Yeah, he said it's no, that was earlier. I think that was too unique. Where he talked about it's not about whether it's a Vegas act or not. It's about getting the best talent.
Okay. Well,
in this one, Howard said that it's more of a skill and not a talent.
Yeah. I think that's an appropriate criticism.
Okay. Do you think this is something someone can learn and not that they just inherently have?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, I'm not sure how much like physics background he has, but he talks a lot about calculations, I think. So
right. It seemed like in the intro at the very beginning that Nick said he was a mechanical engineer.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would do it, but it seemed like he's also like 19, so maybe he's ahead of his age group.
Yeah, I would think so.
Or he's studying to be a mechanical engineer. I mean, but, if you got mechanical engineering background, then this is going to be the right place for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else for Sprice?
I at this point, I feel like he should just hire someone to pretend to be him. He just needs a stand-in for stage presence.
He tried to add a little bit of excitement to it. I mean, if you notice, like, when it was going well and, like, when it was almost over, or even when it was done, he was, like, fist pumping. Yeah. I mean, he was over there just, like, getting all into it, and that it actually worked.
Yeah.
But then when it's over, he's just, like, standing still. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I found it kind of endearing. I don't know.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think he does a really good job, and surely by now he's graduated. Maybe he's even working on his master's in mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
So, I think I did a little also. Where is Sprice now? And we'll talk about that in the results.
Okay.
Anything else for him?
Nope.
Okay. We then get into the second kids dancing, Ruby and Jonas. And Jonas says that Ruby's a little bossy. And Ruby sometimes feels like she's his mom, having to fix his hair and do him up and all that type stuff. So,
Yeah, Ruby is very entertaining. She's a great personality.
she is. Do you feel like the sibling rivalry between her and D'Angelo is more her to D'Angelo and not D'Angelo to her?
Yeah, she feels it very strongly.
She's the more competitive of the two.
She might just not be trying so hard to hold it back.
That's true. D'Angelo's trying to man up on it and not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they danced to "Runaway Baby" by Bruno Mars, and this was kind of cute. It had a little Valentine's Day feel to it. We had some boys coming out giving her flowers and a bear and some chocolates, and then Jonas shows up and they dance together.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked their over-the-top facial expressions. Mel didn't like that, but I mean, you gotta go all out.
I agree with you. I liked it as well. I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, she's what, 7? So, they're going to have that type stuff. D'Angelo and Amanda, theirs was very serious, whereas Ruby and Jonas was more lighthearted and fun. Mel B thought it was cheesy. I don't agree with that. The crowd didn't agree with that either.
Yeah. So, I'm wondering how they do in votes. I mean, I know how it ends up in the end, but I'm curious how it went this round.
Okay, well, we'll get to that here in a few minutes.
Okay.
Howie said that both her and D'Angelo are very talented, and they liked their dancing, but he liked D'Angelo and Amanda's dance better than Ruby and Jonas's dance.
Yeah, I think I can definitely agree with that.
Right. But Ruby said that if they do D'Angelo and Amanda's dance next time, they'll do it better.
Yeah, that's a great Ruby moment.
That is a great Ruby moment, and she is definitely, and we've liked her since the beginning.
Yeah.
Even in auditions, we thought that her and Ruby and Jonas were much better than D'Angelo and Amanda. Now, in Vegas, it kind of flip-flopped.
Yeah.
And here, I think both dances were fine. Just one was more serious than the other. But I think for their theme, I thought both were just as good.
Yeah, I mean the silliness of theirs, I guess, kind of muddies the waters a little bit. But with D'Angelo and Amanda, it was so clear they got absolutely everything right. So I think they did come out on top.
Okay, well, we'll find out here in a few minutes.
Okay.
Anything else for Ruby and Jonas?
Nope.
Well, then we get our last performance of the night, Catapult Entertainment, and we find out that the director was a dancer for 20 years. He decided to leave the dancing company and was never able to find another dancing job. So he decided to start his own company. He said he believes shadow art is a new genre of dance. And I was like, yep, Silhouette's already did it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a new genre with 2 acts right now.
That's right. Yeah. They decided to do a show in honor of Sandy Hook. Do you remember Sandy Hook?
Yeah, I do. And I thought the way that they handled it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't too egregious or offensive about it. It was just kind of the beauty of life, I guess. So I thought the way they came at it was pretty good.
I completely agree, and I think maybe it was Howie. One of them said that they kind of represented the circle of life, because you had them starting out as kids, and then they go off to college, and then they get married and have another baby, and then at the very end, we see that baby kind of as an adolescent, swinging in a swing. But the whole thing was done to the Hawaiian version of Over the Rainbow. Did you like the song choice?
Oh yeah, by Is. It feels like this is a very common one on America's Got Talent. It felt very Silhouettes also. So
Yes.
I don't know.
So did you like the whole thing kind of as a whole?
Yeah. They had some really clever ideas, and they did some slick things with size and passing off the spotlight. But it's still hard to see this as anything but a ripoff of the Silhouettes. I mean, the guy called it a new genre, and there have to be, the first people to come to that. But I mean, it really, if you showed me one of their performances, I couldn't possibly tell you which group did it.
So if you had one do it and then the other one do it, you wouldn't know which is which.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm conflicted, I guess. How did you like it?
I agree with you that it's kind of straight from Silhouettes, but as a whole, I really liked it. They did do a great job with the shadows and perspective. One of the things that really caught my eye was at the very end when someone came really close to the screen and they kind of had some big hair and it made it look like a tree.
Yeah.
There was one part where they kind of stood and they had churches, and they open up and there's the couple getting married. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I couldn't tell you if it was this or Silhouettes, but as far as this particular performance, I really liked it.
Yeah, and I mean they had so much clever stuff like that, and if they had come before Silhouettes, I think I would be all over it, because I think they are a bit better. But this felt, we saw the Silhouettes again in the Holiday Spectacular. This felt exactly like that.
Okay, I think that's fair. Do you think it's something special when you get Howard all emotional?
Yeah, probably so.
I guess that's a big goal, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else for Catapult Entertainment?
Nope.
Do you have anything else for the performances?
No, I'm curious about the results. I'm not really sure how this one's going to go.
Okay, well, we'll get right into that, and we're moving right along. We're making some real good time tonight. We find out that the judges will announce 2 wildcard acts. Did you expect this?
I was wondering when those were going to come.
Okay. I had a feeling that there were some wild cards coming down the road, so it was nice to hear that they were going to announce these.
Yeah.
We were told that this was the hottest and most competitive show of the season.
Sure.
Okay. For quarterfinals, I agree with that. We saw 4 shows where there was basically 4 or 5 performances that were far above the rest of them.
Yeah.
And then in this one, it was pretty much about 9 or 10. I don't know if there were any bombs except for maybe 2 unique that was kind of at the bottom. I felt as a whole, they were all kind of top notch. I think if you were to put 1 or 2 of these acts in any of the other quarterfinal shows, they probably would have gone through.
Okay.
So, especially if you have like a Marty Brown type act.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we see some clips from the performance night. Heidi said that Sam should not have said what he had said as he was leaving the stage, because I don't know if you remember this, but Sam Johnson said that fortunately the vote is not up to the judges, it's up to America.
Yeah, yeah.
So she felt that he may have lost America's vote because of that.
Oh, man.
Twitter was saying that D'Angelo and Amanda were the best act of the night.
Um, yeah. I mean, I like them and Sprice quite a bit.
Okay. Heidi was going nuts, and here we go. Heidi was going nuts during the live show because comedy was coming up. John Wing was getting ready to come out, and she was just going nuts because comedy is her favorite category.
Really?
Yeah, so even before John came out, she was excited that John was coming out because comedy is her favorite category.
That was very surprising.
It was very surprising for me, too. I would not have even thought that. I would have thought acrobatics or any of the singing type stuff. I would not have expected comedy after the way she treated Taylor.
Yeah. She's tough on it because she loves it.
Maybe that's it. That's it. When you feel strongly about something, you're going to treat it a little tougher, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going to expect higher or expect more from it. We then go to the frat party back in the Orville Lounge.
Cool.
We're about halfway through the live show, so Nick does a little feature where he hits the streets of New York to find out what people are saying about the acts and the judges. Okay? So he goes out to Times Square, and he's just going to interview people to find out what they're thinking of the show.
All right.
Okay? Let me ask you this. What percentage of people in New York City have watched one episode of America's Got Talent this season?
I would think it'd be somewhat high. I mean,
You think 50%?
oh my gosh. I don't know. How many people are in that city?
Oh, there's about 10 million people inside Manhattan, so...
Yeah, well, I guess their total ratings are like around 2 million or something, so I guess it's probably not that high.
Okay. So you think maybe 10% of the people are actually watching it?
Sure.
And know what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, seems fair. So this little feature is sponsored by Snapple. It's the Snapple Half and Halftime Report.
Okay.
Okay? He wants to see who people are rooting for on the show. A couple of girls say they like the Chicago Boys.
Nice.
2 girls think that Collins Key is going to win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And 1 girl said she loves Timber Brown.
Nice.
Nick asked a kid what he would say to Heidi if he could ask her one question.
Okay.
Okay? His question was, do you have a map? Because I am lost in your eyes.
Wow. I thought he was going to say, do you have a map? Because I can't find my home, and Nick Cannon just wanted to talk to me.
I would ask her why she's hating on Taylor so much.
Yeah.
We then finish that. And we then get Train featuring Ashley Monroe.
All right. Sounds not exciting.
I found out that Ashley Monroe was from Knoxville. So she's from my neck of the woods.
Oh, cool.
Nick interviews Patrick Monahan at the very end, the lead singer. And he actually says he's been watching the show, and he loves Sam Johnson's story.
What is his story? I can't even think of it.
Well, that he joined the circus at 14, and he's now a single dad and working in a lawnmower shop. So,
all right, interesting.
Seems like that story. He also said that Catapult will be hard to beat.
Yeah, probably so.
If you're ever interested in the opinions of Train's lead singer, there you go. We then get to some results.
Huzzah.
Here we go. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. We get the Virginia State University Gospel Chorale. We get Dave Finley. And we get Selena McKenzie Gordon.
I'm going to say that's the chorale.
It is not the chorale.
Oh, the Dave Finley?
Dave Finley.
All right, interesting.
Yeah, that was a little interesting, especially in that group. Mel B said she had a feeling he knew he was going through. Says he's her guy.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember this, but back in auditions, after he played, she said, "That's what I want." And he said, "Is that what you want? Is that what you really, really want?"
Yeah.
So she's kind of liked him ever since that. I was surprised by this. I felt it was going to be the Corral. I like Dave Finley, but in this group, I thought the Corral did a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now the judges were worried about whether America was going to vote for a gospel choir.
Yeah.
So, got anything else on those results?
I guess not.
Okay. Our next result is Too Unique,
Okay.
Sam Johnson,
Okay.
Catapult Entertainment,
Oh.
and Melody Caballero.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say that's Catapult.
This was a runaway Catapult.
Okay.
I bet it wasn't even close amongst the other three.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Howard said this should surprise no one. Catapult stole the show. They also said it was the single best performance on AGT ever.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't know if they remember this group called Silhouettes from a couple seasons before. So
Yeah, they go pretty far.
Howard and Howie kind of got into it a little bit because Howard said, or remember when Kenichi performed, that Howie said Kenichi was going to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Howard feels that Howie spoke too soon on that.
Okay, interesting.
So they kind of went back and forth about, Howie not thinking that Catapult's one of the best groups in there. So it was a whole thing.
All right.
Basically, Howard was calling Howie out.
Yeah. Well, you'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So I did a little Where Are They Now on a couple of these acts that have been eliminated. I looked up Melody, and she has a YouTube channel with one video.
Okay.
This performance.
Oh.
And it has
All right.
and it has 256 views.
Oh no.
So
Okay.
I looked up Sam Johnson.
Okay.
He's got a Twitter handle and a YouTube channel called Slackwire Sam.
Oh yeah.
Does that sound
I
familiar?
remember that for some reason.
That familiar to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm sad to see Sam go.
Yeah. His YouTube channel has 15 videos and 152 subscribers.
Okay.
Twitter account is no longer active.
Oh.
Yeah. Then I looked up Too Unique. Now, Too Unique's Facebook page is no longer active. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay?
Okay.
I don't think Too Unique as a duo exists anymore because all I could find was stuff on Leela B, the rapper. Okay. Her YouTube channel has 13 videos with 840 subscribers. She does have an active website, so she is now doing DJing and rapping, and looks like she's even doing modeling. She's done some acting. She was on an episode of Two Broke Girls.
Okay. So
she's actually doing pretty well for herself.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything on the DJ though, and as them as a group.
Oh, that's a shame.
So at least one of them is kind of still doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we then go backstage and we talk to Ruby and Jonas, D'Angelo and Amanda, and Sprice.
Okay.
And we find out Sprice was blowing up online.
That's cool.
Somebody tweeted in that some girl tweeted in about Sprice that she doesn't like dorks, but she thinks that Sprice is cute. And we find out Sprice is taken. Sprice has a girlfriend.
Cool.
Yeah. Nick kind of put him on the spot about his girlfriend, getting her name, saying Sprice loves her. It was a really awkward couple of seconds by Nick, but
All
Sprice is just sitting there like, yeah, I'm taken. I got a girlfriend. So,
Cool.
Ruby and Jonas and D'Angelo and Amanda talking about their sibling rivalry again, and Ruby talking smack, of course. D'Angelo just kind of letting it go.
Okay.
We then go to break, and we come back to Tom Cotter from season
Wow.
7.
How'd he do?
He was runner-up. He didn't win.
Yeah.
He lost. He lost to some dogs.
Yeah. Well, how was his performance?
His performance was really good. He actually made fun of himself losing to dogs.
Yeah. I think I sort of remember that.
It was really funny because he said he lost to an act that didn't even know that they were on the show.
That's pretty good.
And he lost to an act that can lick themselves, so they pretty much won twice. So, I thought it was very classic Tom Cotter. I gotta get that right. Now, his jokes were a little more edgy than John Wing's, so it's a good thing that Heidi didn't have to judge him, or else she would have voted for somebody else.
Yeah. I have no idea what Heidi's reaction to him was. I guess she was on when he was on, right?
No, this is their first year.
Oh, you're right.
This is Mel B and Heidi's first season. So last year it was Howard, Sharon, and Howie.
All right. I had forgotten about that. I guess I thought Howard came in more recently.
Howard. I think Howard started in season 7, and Sharon was there. And then this season, Sharon left. They brought in Heidi and Mel B.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And Howie's been around forever.
Yeah.
Well, we then go to break, and we come back, and we get some more results. And we get D'Angelo and Amanda versus Ruby and Jonas.
Oh, man.
Do you even want to take a shot at this?
Is it D'Angelo and Amanda?
It is D'Angelo and Amanda. And Ruby just busts out crying.
Oh, no.
She kind of had this look on her face like she knew she was going to be eliminated when she found out she was going up against her brother.
Yeah. I'm surprised they couldn't beat out, like, Dave Finley.
Right. I'm surprised they weren't in that same group with either Dave Finley or Too Unique and Sam Johnson and all them. If they put them in with that group with Catapult, they probably would have done a twofer on that one.
Well, yeah. I mean, that doesn't really change the votes, but I would have think that their sibling rivalry thing would have helped them both.
I agree, but maybe people split the vote.
Yeah.
So, Nick asked how D'Angelo was feeling because he was going through, and he actually said he felt bad for his sister.
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of sweet. And then after that, I was kind of curious what was happening with Ruby and Jonas, so I went out and looked it up. Ruby was on season 13. Spoiler alert for people that haven't watched this show. She was on season 13 of So You Think You Can Dance.
Cool.
Are you doing any rewatches of So You Think You Can Dance?
No, I thought
Okay.
you were going to say she was on season 13 of AGT at first, and I was wondering how you knew the future.
No. She went on So You Think You Can Dance. I want to make sure I wasn't spoiling anything for you.
Okay.
She finished 6th on that show.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so good for her. We then get our last group is Duo Resonance, John Wing, and Sprice. So who was eliminated?
Sprice.
Sprice was eliminated. Yes, that's a pretty strong group to be in.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, it is. Nick kept calling him Gangsta throughout the show. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed he did in the other episode. It seemed like he felt kind of awkward about it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward. Maybe he was trying to build him up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
It is kind of funny. So then we go to a judge's vote. And Howie said what Sprice does is more of a skill. And I think that's where they talk about it here than in the performance. He said here that it's more of a skill. We haven't gotten to judge's vote yet. Howie was kind of just giving a response on Sprice. So anyway, we talked about earlier this is more of a skill than a talent.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we get to judges' votes, and we start off with Heidi. And Heidi goes with duo resonance. She said she liked both of them, but she decided to go with duo resonance.
Okay.
Howie decides to go with John Wing.
Okay.
Okay. Mel B then goes with John Wing.
Okay.
And Howard goes with John Wing.
Wow.
Yeah. Before he gave his answer, though, he said Tom Cotter got robbed last season.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose.
And then he said John Wing is one of the best comics that AGT has ever had.
That is wild. What are you talking about?
Now, he didn't say the best, just one of the best. You know, Tom Cotter could be up on that list. Taylor could be up on that list. You know, you
Laurie
never know.
Mae Hernandez could be up on that list.
Laurie Hernandez could be up there. Who was the older lady that?
Julia Scotti.
Julia Scotti could be on that list, right? So.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that Tom Cotter. Tom Cotter was my favorite when I was watching it, but I was pretty young then, and he took pretty much all of his material from his previous stand-up acts, which, you know, it's not a crime against humanity, but it sort of diminishes it, I guess.
Okay. Okay, so then we get John Wing that's voted through by the judges, and Heidi was a little upset by that. She really wanted to see duo resonance go through. So what does she do? She uses her wild card.
Wow, that's how wild cards work.
So Heidi wanted to know if she could use her wild card. Nick is like, you can do whatever you want to do. So Heidi uses her wild card to put duo resonance through. Does this feel like an impulse decision to you?
Probably. I don't know. Did she have anybody else lined up, I guess? I don't know how this works this season.
I don't either, because they let her pick her wild card, but then they let Mel B pick her wild card as well. So I wasn't for sure if they already had someone in mind, and then because this happened, Heidi was just like, I'm going to throw caution to the wind and just pick duo resonance because they're right here.
So they both get a wild card, or does all the judges get two or something?
Yeah, I'm not still sure how all this works. I'm thinking they each get one, because 20 acts were put through, 4 from each round, and then if each judge gets a wild card, that would make 24 acts, 12 perform each week.
Okay.
So I don't think they would do 28 acts. The math doesn't work out for me on that one.
Yeah.
So Heidi and Mel B went ahead and used theirs. And would you like to know who Mel B picked for her wild card?
Is this not somebody that we saw?
It is not someone we saw tonight. We've seen this act in quarterfinals, but this act was not on the show tonight.
I don't know. Who is it?
She wanted to see some more B-O-O-T-Y. B-O-O-T-Y.
I would have thought for sure that'd be Howie's pick.
And it may have been, and Mel B just may have decided to go ahead and claim it.
Well, that's awesome.
So
it seems very weird that we're gonna see them in semifinals. That's quite the upset, but I really think they're a good choice, honestly.
yeah, it's really weird that we're going to see him in semifinals doing the same song for the third time.
Yeah, they're they could go all the way with this thing.
I would be totally shocked. I don't know if I'd be. I don't know. I might be a little against it. I may not come back for 9 or 10 if Tone the Chief Rocco wins this whole thing. It would,
Okay.
it would be a very interesting winner. I don't know if he would really deserve to win it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
All right.
So anyway, they've done their 2 wildcard picks. It seems like they said that Howie and Howard will do theirs next week. So we'll find out who their wildcard picks when the semifinal episode comes on.
Okay, interesting.
I kind of want to go back to Sprice for a moment. I did some lookup on what Sprice is doing these days. Sprice has a Facebook account that's pretty active. He's got some stuff out there within the past month or so, but he's got 1,000 followers on Facebook.
Cool.
On YouTube, he's got 16,000 subscribers.
That's very nice.
And on Twitter, he's got 2,000 followers.
Cool.
So Sprice doing pretty well in the social media.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's graduated from college by now and doing other things, building bridges or whatever it may be that mechanical engineers build.
Yeah, is he still performing?
Well, I mean, he's creating videos. I don't know if he's, building stuff, I'm sure he's still building Rube Goldberg machines. I didn't watch any of the videos. But, I mean, he's active. He's still creating videos of his stuff. So,
All right, well, cool.
Yeah. Do you have anything else about the performances or the results or anything you want to mention?
I don't think so. What a round.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting show. They mentioned who's going to be in the semifinals next week.
Okay.
So we are going to get Innovative Force, the dance team.
Okay.
We're getting Forte, and hopefully it's still the same 3 guys.
Yeah.
We're going to get the Kristoff brothers.
Okay.
We're going to get Angela Hoover,
Okay.
Cammie Bradley,
Okay.
Collins Key,
Okay.
Taylor,
Oh, cool.
and Jonathan Allen.
Nice.
Now, that's only 8 acts that I've got listed here, so I'm not sure if, some others are going to come from this show and maybe a wild card. So we still got 4 more acts that we got to fill into those spots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, do you have anything else for the show this evening?
I don't think so. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, and if you want to reach out to us and provide any comments or questions or talk about anything, you can hit us up on Twitter and Facebook at AGTcast. You can also send us an email, agtcast@gmail.com. We'd appreciate any feedback that you have. You can also find us out on iTunes. We'd appreciate a review. Kind of help our iTunes SEO out so when season 12 comes back, people can find us.
Yeah.
So next week we'll get right into semifinals. I'm excited. I'm pumped.
Yeah. I'm glad you're excited.
We're moving right along. Yeah.
For sure. We are almost at the end result, I guess.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Just a few more shows.
How are your predictions doing?
That's a good question. Let's check on that. I don't think I had anyone in tonight's show on my list, but let me pull it up and see what I can find. I'm hoping that since we got wild cards, that one of my predictions will come back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I've only missed 2 so far. So let's see what all we've got for tonight. Oh, yeah, I didn't do so well. So I had 3 spots left, and they were Sam Johnson,
Oh, no.
Sprice,
Oh, no.
and Ruby and Jonas. So I got completely wiped out in this week.
Oh, that's a shame. How many are left?
Well, if there are wild cards, or since there are wild cards coming back, I've got the Hitmen,
Okay.
that I'm hoping will make a return.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting the other ones that I missed out on was Fresh Faces. I'm not expecting a return by Fresh Faces, and I'm not expecting a return by Sprice. Now,
Okay.
it may be possible that Ruby and Jonas and or the Hitmen return for the semifinals. I can hope.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm shooting about 50-50. I'm right at the 50% mark.
Okay.
The only ones I've got left are Kenichi, Taylor Williamson, Collins Key, Forte, and the Military Spouses.
All right.
So
Cool.
I'm hoping I can get a couple more added back to my list.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Well, until next week, when we get to the semifinals, we wish you all a happy week.
Goodbye.